Welcome back, it's Nine, and today I got another big video for you guys. We are going to be talking about The Last of Us Part 2 getting a PS5 update. We'll be discussing Cyberpunk 2077 based on this Bloomberg article that has come, written by Jason Schreier, exposing some pretty shady practices. We're going to be discussing an article from gamesindustry.biz, discussing how well gaming is doing in 2020 now, comparatively speaking to 2019. And lastly, we're going to be talking about an article from WCCF Tech, with EA's DICE Battlefield devs saying that Microsoft has quite a few unannounced Xbox exclusives for 2021. Now, before we get into that, if you haven't subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to get notified about all my upcoming videos, and hit the like button. It helps the channel a ton. Now, let's get right into it, starting with this article that comes from Twisted Voxel, and it's titled, The Last of Us Part 2 PS5 Update Possibly Hinted by SIE WWS President. So while there is no official word on an update for The Last of Us Part 2, Hermen Hulst has accidentally, or could have mistakenly, confirmed it in a blog post where various PlayStation developers at SIE Worldwide Studios were discussing their Game of the Year. Hermen Hulst also shared his preference in a comment. So he says, I am also very impressed with the work that Sucker Punch and Naughty Dog did to make both titles run so well on PS5. So while Ghost of Tsushima did benefit from a jump to 60 FPS on PS5, Naughty Dog hasn't released a single patch to add any PS5 update to The Last of Us Part 2, so either he has made a mistake or Herman knows something that we don't. I mean, it kind of goes without saying that there's definitely a patch waiting to be done for The Last of Us Part 2. They're working on it more than likely, and it's likely going to drop sometime this year, and I imagine that'll come with the Factions multiplayer. I think this is a given. Obviously, it's not far-fetched to believe that this is the case. In terms of this actual blog post and the Twisted Voxel article, I feel like it might be a possible just wording that's being taken out of context in a sense. I don't think that he accidentally leaked anything. I think it's probably just going to be the fact that we are going to see a patch happen eventually. Naturally, it's The Last of Us Part 2, guys. The Last of Us Part 1 got that PS4 treatment, and I imagine Part 2 is going to get the PS5 treatment. It only makes sense. Now, the only question out there is this going to be a paid upgrade, or is this going to be free? Regardless of what route they go, I think people are going to buy it if it does end up being a paid upgrade. Now, on to our next topic, and this is all about Cyberpunk 2077. I did take an article from Twisted Voxel, but the original article is written by Bloomberg, but it's quite lengthy, but I will have both in the description for you guys. So this is titled Cyberpunk 2077 E3 2018 demo was an elaborate fake. So Cyberpunk 2077 first gameplay demo that was released in 2018 was an elaborate fake by cdpr that didn't have most of the featured programmed into the game. Guys, this is already not a good look. And it gets worse. Back at E3 2018, CD Projekt Red had released a lengthy gameplay video that showcased gameplay footage from Cyberpunk 2077. This video was more than 10 minutes long and showed the main protagonist going through various sections of Night City and attempting missions in it. According to a new report by Jason Schreier for Bloomberg, the developers spent a lot of time creating this demo. Most of the underlying gameplay features that were showcased in the demo weren't even designed or coded at this point. This is awful just from hearing that. What makes it worse is this isn't even the first time cdpr has done this. If you guys remember, The Witcher 3 was another game with an early gameplay showcase that teased visuals that were never achieved in the final product. So it's like, it just doesn't look good on cdpr, right? Obviously, I was one of the people who said this is one of the best studios out here, and they're very honest with their fan base, very transparent, and I always stuck up for them, and it's starting to look like I was completely wrong. Basically, the game didn't even start full development until 2016 when the project lead was taken by Adam Badowski. Cyberpunk 2077 also suffered through feature creep, and the developers had to cut down many aspects of the game to get it ready for launch. In fact, the team expected the game to finish development in 2022, and it was far from ready to launch in 2020. That is scary. This game was meant to be done, was expected to be done in 2022, and they dropped this game in 2020, late 2020, and they want to drop it in early 2020. It's terrifying, right? Because you think about what kind of state this game could have been in if it did drop earlier. Now, had they waited till 2022, I think the game would have been complete. I think the game would have been where they expected it to be, and people would have received this game a lot better than they did given it coming out the way it did. So I'm really disappointed. I'm really, really disappointed with the way cdpr did this. I expected so much better from them. And I guess game devs, and it's not their fault, but the business side of things, it's all the same. No matter what company it is, it seems they're all the same. They all got the same thing in mind. And to a degree, I understand it, but it also is very frustrating because it's like, why not just release a finished product? It's going to do so much better in the long run. But I guess that might just be me. Anyway, on to our next topic, and this comes from gamesindustry.biz. We're just going to go over a couple of points here that I feel are really solid points, and it really highlights just how well gaming is doing. This is titled 2020 sees record U.S. game spending at $56.9 billion. And this is according to a U.S. annual report. So U.S. game sales gained a new height in 2020, with total spending reaching $56.9 billion. That's a 27% increase year on year, according to tracking firm NPD's latest reports. Guys, that is insane. Like, gaming is growing at such a massive rate. It's crazy how fast it's growing. And I know the pandemic has a role to play in this, but still, it's been growing consistently. So software represented the vast majority, 86% of this figure, with game content spending reaching $48.9 billion in 2020. Software sales were up 26% compared to 2019. More growth. And it's just, it doesn't stop, guys. It really doesn't. So The Last of Us Part 2 was actually 2020's best-selling PlayStation exclusive in the US and has become the third best-selling Sony game of all time in the country. These are incredible numbers, guys. This is insane. I can't believe that it's grown so rapidly over 1 year. So Sony's DualSense wireless controller was the best-selling gamepad of 2020. It wasn't even out that long. It was out for, I think it was like a little over a month, and that's not even in every region. So it's crazy to think in 2020, the DualSense controller was the best-selling controller, right? It just, to me, that's flabbergasting. But anyway, on to our last topic, and this comes from WCCF Tech. This is titled EA Dice Battlefield Dev says Microsoft has quite a few unannounced Xbox exclusives for 2021. So in a new blog post on the Xbox Wire yesterday, Microsoft detailed the titles coming exclusively to the Xbox family in 2021. And then an EA Dice developer had something to say in the comments. He says, there are quite a few things that are not yet announced, the developer has said, and he puts an emoji with basically a like quiet emoji. And it's pretty interesting to see that. So there's some games that are due out in 2021 that we don't know of. I wonder what that could be. I did think that they were kind of light on games for 2021, but it looks like this could mean that maybe there's some stuff in the works that we haven't heard about. And I really hope it's something good, because they could really benefit from some good exclusive games, given that Sony has so much coming out in 2021. They're going to need to be able to compete on a level, at least, to get people, spending more time on the Xbox or their PC or wherever they decide to play these games that are Xbox first-party games. So we'll see what happens. There's not much else to say about that specifically. I mean, it would all be speculation anyway. But that's all I have for you guys in today's video. I would love to pass this on to you guys and ask you, number one, do you think we're going to get a Last of Us Part 2 patch soon for the PS5? How do you feel about the whole Cyberpunk 2077 situation? Have you changed the way you feel about cdpr now? How do you feel about gamesindustry.biz putting out this report about how well gaming is doing right now? And lastly, what do you think the possible exclusives could be for the Microsoft platform in 2021? Let me know in the comments. And as always, if you haven't subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to get notified about all my upcoming videos, and hit the like button. That helps the channel a ton. You can follow me on Twitter and Twitch. Links will be in the description. And share this video with a friend. I will talk to you all on the next one. Take care.